Hey guys, welcome back to Sketchy Vert channel. We just arrived here at Texas Speed. We drove all night long. Kind of tired, but 70 degrees out, super nice, and I am enjoying this weather. So it was definitely worth the drive. But anyways, we're gonna go inside Texas Speed over here and take a look, visit these guys again. Pretty excited about that. So it's like they're got their car ready for Cleetus and Cars, the demo. That's an awesome paint job. You should see this. That's great.
Drifter's car. It's a guy out of Australia. He's got a Holden, and he does lots of drifting, and we just went through his motor, freshened it all up, and getting it ready.
That's nice.
So
they're so pretty when they're in like out of the cars.
Oh yeah, especially they're usually the hardest on it. But yeah, anymore LS goes in everything. I mean, down the
This is their assembly room.
Yeah, everything. You know, for in here, it's everything from complete turnkey, you know, intake to oil pan or blower to oil pan to the basic short blocks. For guys that'll have like a late model Corvette, Camaro, something like that, just want a Ford short block in it. And then we'll do, you know, long blocks that'll, you know, if someone wants something that's, you know, complete with cylinder heads, camshaft that they want to carry over their intake and valve covers and all of that, they certainly can. So this one is actually the LT1 that's going to be going on our engine dyno for some more development stuff. So, you know, for any of our dyno testing, I mean, you know, we start with factory GM production engines when we're doing developmental work. You know, just because it's one of those that we want to start with the platform the customer has.
Oh, sure.
So, you know, and then from that point we can build on it where we're going to throw the cam at it, we're going to throw ported heads at it. So when a customer calls and says, hey, I want to run your stage 3 cam. Well, how much power does it make? Well, I don't want to say, well, it should make about 60 horse, or we'll give you a graph. So you get on our website, here's the graph of what the cam makes, stock versus, you know, that particular camshaft, and you can see everything from 2,000 RPM all the way up to red line. You know, so they know exactly what they're getting, where it makes the power, how much it makes, you know, torque curves, all of that. So makes it a lot easier for guys to pick parts.
Wow.
For sure. So
Cool.
yeah. So
Cool stuff.
yeah, we'll go through here. You can get a glimpse of an LT1 on the dyno, doing some testing with it. Working on some cylinder head and camshaft packages as well with this one. So we're going to put a new freshened one up on the motor and or on the engine dyno and start the whole testing process over again. So
What's all this stuff here, Trevor?
it's basically a water tank. So all of this is, you know, it's bolting up. What we did is to make it super easy, instead of having an actual water pump in place, we just did quick connect fittings where we can just bolt in place of the water pump so it circulates the water through the motor.
Oh, okay.
So
Keep it cool while you're
we can do as far as just cutting time down, you know, especially when we're doing development with camshafts. You know, on one motor we may dyno 30 different camshafts, 35 different camshafts, just changing everything, just, you know, just to see how well it responds and what changes. You know, theory doesn't always play out in the real world, so what you think is gonna make a great change, you know, you can try it on a motor and then it may lose power, you know. So theory only goes so far, so that's a great thing, you know. In testing, we'll go just roll through tons of cylinder heads, camshafts, and
that's how you do it. That's how you guys are breaking records and
oh yeah, that's, I mean,
doing your thing.
Any of our head cam cars, all of the motors from the cars, they start life on that dyno. And you know, the one in our blue car, the 5th gen car, I mean, it went on the dyno, made 40 something pulls before it went in the car. Just every last ounce of power we can make with it before it goes in the car and goes to the track. So makes it super nice on that side.
Yeah.
Now, CNC machines that do all of the cylinder head porting. So depending on what type of cylinder head it is, will depend on which machine it's going to. So we'll have, of course, it's, you know, specific for cathedral port, LS3, LS7. And we have some machines that are dedicated just for the GM castings. So this machine nothing but the GM casting, so a customer sends their cylinder heads to us, it'll go on this machine for porting. And then we also have our complete line of aftermarket castings, so, you know, depending on, again, what type of head it is, will depend on which CNC machine that it's going to get bolted to on stock.
That's crazy. So they look like this before they go on the machine.
Yeah, so a lot of these will come in, you know, if they come in, it'll get sandblasted first, so that's why it's got that dull finish to it. And then of course you can see anything that's been machined for runners, all of that stuff, you know, it'll be the shiny aluminum. So yeah, we still do, even though, you know, we don't stock hardly anything for the factory GM castings anymore because they're just impossible to get. But we still port a ton of them for customers. So
really?
Customers send their heads in, and yeah, and it makes it nice. You know, we have a lot of for porting, you know, starting at $750. They send their heads to us. We do the full CNC porting, 5-angle valve job, you know, pressure check, assemble with whatever hardware they want, and go down the road. So
wow,
yeah, it makes it super nice.
That's crazy.
New die machines. They're both CNC machines. This uses a single point cutter, and that's what does the valve job. So we'll actually draw the valve job, you know, whatever we want on the screen, and then it replicates it into the seat itself. This one is a dual spindle lathe. This is one of the newer machines, so we can actually put a bar of titanium in the feeder right there. It'll feed it into the machine, and then it'll actually cut both sides of the retainer. So it starts live as a, well, you'll see them down here. It starts live as a big bar, just one bar of titanium. And it'll just make retainers over and over and over. It'll feed itself. And then of course you can clean out the scrap and cutting. You know, we go through lots of scrap titanium and scrap aluminum. If you ever order a TSP spring kit, this is how your titanium retainers start live. It's just a bar of titanium. And so we'll feed the bars into the bar feeder of the dual spindle lathe, and then as it needs it, it's feeding the bar into the machine. So it'll actually cut one side of the retainer, cut the part off, and then cut the other side of the retainer and spit out a finished product. So great thing about this, having bar feeders, you know, we can load the machine before we leave. So even when we're not here, if there's no production going on, these machines are still running, still feeding titanium.
Still working when you guys don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, we'll mill off. So this is what it looks like when it comes in from us. This is an LS3. What will eventually be turned into either a 255 or 260cc LS3 head. But you know, even down to chamber size, you know, it's just a roughed in casting. So,
that's really rough, huh?
yeah, so all of it's just roughed in, and then everything gets machined once it gets here. So, you know, there's pretty much none of this that's untouched before it leaves our facility. But in a factory, GM, Chrysler, Ford, any of those, they're using the same style CNC camshaft grinder. So, you know, with this, it's basically a large grinding wheel. That's the wheel itself that is doing the grinding on each individual load. So being CNC, we load the program, and once it's loaded, it shuts the door, and here it goes, and it comes in on each individual load, and it'll, like, you know, cut the profile, whatever specific program you've got set up. So
jeez, it's really big in here.
for sure, it's wow. You know, these are you know, these are the latest greatest CNC machines for camshaft grinding. The older stuff had a much bigger footprint, believe it or not. They were double the size, these machines. So,
really?
Yeah. Production-wise now, I mean, you know, especially with just the ramp up in technology over the last 10 and 15 years, you know, the capabilities are just through the roof. You know,
So these like cores here?
yeah,
These
so
blocks?
all of this, pretty much on this side is all of the, as far as the engine machining itself. So, you know, you'll see various blocks depending on what the customer's got on order. You know, we'll have everything from just factory block, you know, even LSX stuff. We'll have the GM iron block stuff, lots of aluminum. We do re-sleeving in-house. So we'll take a GM Gen 4 aluminum block, cut the factory sleeves out of it, and we'll install Darton sleeves. So, you know, and that's exactly what, like Cleetus, that's what Leroy 1.0 was. It was a re-sleeve block. So you can see on this one where we actually cut the sleeves out of it. So this is an aluminum block where the sleeves have been cut out, and it's basically ready to have the new sleeves put into it. So you can see it's got a step here. That's basically what seats the sleeve in place. so it can't drop on you. So, you know,
Oh, wow.
once it's in place, you've got that step in it, so the sleeve can't move, and then of course, you've got a cylinder head bolted on top, so the sleeve can't come up because you've got a head holding it in place. About any flavor that a customer wants, no matter whether it's, you know, 500 horse basic street motor to 700 horse stuff to 1500 horse turbo stuff like what's in Sketchy. You know, it's just any and everything that people want. So
this is where my motor came, right this here.
Yeah, it was at some point it was in staging, you know, and you know, so it makes all of its way through the various processes. They'll all start in the block machine. This machine, it's all CNC, and you can see it's already cut out sleeves out of this one. So this block will be getting ready to be sleeved, and this is an LT block. So this is we do all the Gen 5 LT stuff with re-sleeving as well. So it allows those guys to not only have a better sleeve, but it gives you the capabilities for bigger cubic inches. So, you know, a lot of guys like the 427s, but you can build up to, you know, 454 cubic inch stuff if you wanted.
Wow.
But, you know, the factory sleeves are really thin. And so it gives you capabilities because you get a much thicker sleeve, but you get a much harder material too. So capabilities, you know, I mean, again, Cleetus, I mean, he was running 1400, you know, rear wheel when he was going for the record, trying to run 7s with the manual. So,
oh my gosh,
yeah, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
it was way up there. It was definitely at its limits and beyond. But, you know, it just shows you how far you can really push these things at a lever line.
So this is an LT4 block?
Well, LT1 and LT4 are the same. Yeah, it's an LT block.
So what's the difference? I mean, this might be a stupid question, but what's the difference like from the LS to the LT1s and L4s?
Well, there's a lot. So it's you know, the basic design, it's still push rod motor. Cylinder head is completely redesigned, a different beast altogether. The intake and exhaust valves are swapped in an LT. The biggest difference, obviously, with LT is it's direct injection. So you have an injector, you know, that's actually in the cylinder head itself, directing or injecting fuel directly into the combustion chamber, versus port injection, where the injectors install into the intake manifold, and then with the suction coming in, it draws that fuel into the chamber. But you know, so the direct injection is obviously, that's the biggest difference. But there's lots of little differences with it. You know, LT. It uses a mechanical fuel pump to boost the pressure for the direct injection. So under the valley cover, it's got it has a little mechanical fuel pump that will install on the back that boosts that rail pressure. You know, so the cam is different because on the back you'll see it's a triangle shaped lobe on the back of the cam that it basically rides. It's got a lifter for it and all that, you know, for the mechanical fuel pump. So there's lots of little differences with them. Direct injection is definitely the biggest thing. You know, you can push compression ratio a lot more. So you'll see a lot of these cars now, you know, like Corvettes come from the factory with 11.5 to 1 compression for the LT1 stuff. So yeah, so it's been really cool for advancement. The biggest thing has been cylinder heads, but you know, that's why we're so eager to get that dyno motor up and running, where we can start testing the new cylinder heads, and that'll give a lot more capabilities too.
Good for them.
So yeah.
So you think once you knock, I mean, like as of now, are the LT1s and LT4s better than like anything the LS used to have to offer?
Well, you know, I guess that's a little bit of a loaded question. I mean, you can build a stronger motor through LS because there's more options.
Okay.
So, you know, there's no 6-bolt block for an LT, for instance, you know, so if you're looking for all the power, you know, you want to throw everything at it, you can go LSX block, it's 6-bolt cast iron, you know, you've got all the strength with it and all the clamping force with it. So that, you know, that's really, I would say the limiting factor with the LT is going to be that it's just traditional 4-bolt design like any production motor is. So, you know, when you really start trying to push it on boost, that's going to be your problem. But, you know, the other side is it comes down to head gaskets. So we're going to have the new Athena gaskets hopefully next month. They're going to have a version for the LTs. So it'll have that same fire ring that seals the combustion chamber like you've got, like Cleetus runs. Wow. That helps a ton as far as just capabilities and how much really you can throw at it before you start fighting issues with lifting heads and that sort of stuff. So still have tons of capabilities. You know, you've already seen some 7-second passes from the LT guys, and it's only going to get faster this year.
I've seen Doug's from Motion Raceworks.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, he was one of the early ones out there swinging with the LT, you know,
that was insane.
Held the record for a while, you know, first 7-second LT out there. So Yeah, he's been great, just a pioneer and kind of driving that forward. And so, as you see, a lot, you know, as the platform is maturing, there's more cars around, and especially as they come out of warranty, you're seeing a lot more guys starting to get really crazy with them now. So,
yeah,
you know, over the next year or two, you'll probably see some pretty crazy builds coming with them.
See,
all the different
looks like a dentist office.
Yeah, lots of different tools that are in place. So, depending on what the machine is doing, part of the program, it will call for a specific tool in a specific location. So if it's going to go in and mill the deck surface of a block, it's going to pull one tool down, change it out, and here it goes.
Wow.
But what's very nice with these machines is everything's automated. So everything from stroker clearancing to decking the block, boring the block, all of that's going to take place in here. And these are the machines that will also serial number the blocks. Because everything that we run through, everything gets serial numbered. So we'll etch that serial number on the block itself with our logo. That way it's identifiable. It's a Texas Speed motor. Here's the serial number. So if it's ever sold in a vehicle or separate, you know, a customer calls and says, hey, what is it? They give us that serial number and we can pull up all of the build specifications on that motor. So, but you know, with these, it's really cool because a traditional block machine will check the deck surface of a block, for instance. They'll check at one point on each end. They'll find the lowest number of those two, and then they'll deck the block accordingly. But you know, a lot of blocks you'll see that it'll actually kind of be a trough where the lowest point is in the center of the deck. So we'll actually probe each deck in 6 different spots: 2 on the end, 2 on the end, and 2 in the center. So
wow.
If it has that trough, you still find it, and you can still. So it just ensures that, you know, your decks are true, 100% flat.
Which I did put the pressure deal on Sketchy for the heads.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So
yeah,
like you talked about.
Pressurized cooling system.
Yep.
Always a good idea when you're going crazy on boost. You know, if you can watch it and see if you've got the ability to see pressure in the cooling system, you know, as you start pushing it and start trying to lift the head gasket. Ideally, the theory is you can back it down a little bit.
Turn it down.
Yeah, before you kill the head gasket. So.
Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities.
It's not as pricey as you thought.
No. Are you filming? Oh.
Are you gonna do something?
Do something. Well, okay, so the tranny in Sketchy is low on fluid, so we're gonna put hydraulic fluid in there. So yeah, this will be it's good stuff is what I was told. So that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna put it in there and go from there. I'm gonna take the one with the label on it just to pick up. Some more trans fluid. We're a little low, and I didn't check that when I left Lincoln. So we're gonna do it here at Texas Speed because I'm sure they love me bothering them as they're working. But they're nice enough to let me use their driveway to change check the fluid in it. And I think we added about 3 quarts already of trans fluid. So she was a little low. I noticed it was not happy coming off the trailer. It was slipping a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna fix that. That's what we're doing now. I think this is gonna be our last cup of the day. My hands are nice and fluidy. All right. Well, the cardboard was just soaked in the table, and I guarantee it was that overflow. Because if you look under the car, it's not even leaking now. I bet it was the overflow. It just set quick.
I wonder if it starts I don't know where it is or anything, but I wonder if it starts siphoning. Once it leaks out, it's pulling more out.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, because it's damn, that was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. And I never checked it all year either. So like maybe it was low. It could have been low, like because when I took that kid, you know, his dad had cancer.
Oh yeah.
When I took him for a ride in it, I ended up blowing a line off the transmission, and it started like just spitting and smoking real bad. I'm going, what's going on? And then it wasn't moving very well, so I barely made it to the house. And the chaplain got that oil and put some in there for me after we fixed it. Oh boy. I think this car runs 7s. I think. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a fair weather racer. Yeah, it's always fun when
So you guys are gonna bring this to Cleetus and Cars, maybe, or the black car?
probably, this one's probably the one that will go. Because we need to test a new converter and make sure all is good with it before we rip it apart and put the new motor in it. So this will probably go, but I don't know. Joseph's working on the blue car.
Oh, the blue car's in here.
Yeah, she's on the left. They've got, so the hydraulic motor that was in it, we went 930s with, and then we pulled it out, set it aside, and put the solid roller in. And so we kind of had it just sitting in the corner. So that's the motor we're shoving back in it to make her run. So,
that's crazy.
yeah.
So you're just putting another...
Yeah, so just shoving that hydraulic motor back in it instead of the solid, since I blew up the solid. And,
so clean under here.
yeah, you know, they're not as terrible to work on when, you know, you do aftermarket suspension and rip everything else off. Yeah, this was well, they were both salvage title cars. They were both flood cars. And this one, like, we got this one running because it was a factory 1LE car. And so we got it, and it wasn't, I mean, like, it had a water line on the door where they claimed the water went to, and there's no way. I mean, it had water.
I remember the water line, Mark. I remember that when I was here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I kind of named it Water Level.
Is that from coming down, doing wheelies?
No, this is from whoever owned it previously.
Oh.
They found every curb and everything else apparently when they drove it around. So just kind of left that in place so I don't have to care.
That's funny.
Yeah, this car doesn't, she doesn't do the wheelies like the fourth gen does. So that's 3/4 of the reason I want the red car to come back and start my wheelies back. My CTSV I couldn't leave well enough alone, so she's getting a cam and
You're like,
and some other stuff. Give her 100 horse or so.
so you're gonna call out Cooper now?
Oh yeah, no, we already did. Yeah,
Oh.
we already threw it out there. Be like, no pressure, Cooper.
No pressure.
Yeah, he's got an auto though. I saw he already had drag radials on the back of his. So I don't know that mine will go to the track because it's a manual.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, you can take it to the track, but I'm way more likely to tear it up. So I probably won't. But
I probably.
hey, never
won't.
say never. You know, that's.
That would be a good race to watch, you guys. I know he's got the auto, but it would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, well, I don't fight fair. I'll swerve in his lane.
I'll swerve in his lane.
I'll just come at him.
That's great.
But, yeah, it's a cool car. The wagons are always ridiculous.
Oh, this is the wagon.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Oh yeah.
Manual wagon.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of these.
Yeah, some people, they're kind of mad that I'm modding it.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, some people are like, oh, it's a shame you're doing that to such a pristine, original, low-mile car. And I'm like, you know, they're fun when they're modded up. It's not. I'm not doing anything crazy. It's mild cam and, you know, pulley and basic stuff. They can always be put back to stock, but yeah, it's way more fun with 600. You know, probably make 620 or so rear wheel, 630 versus
That's
500
pretty
rear
nice.
wheel.
So then you have to race this against your Audi out there.
Oh, the Audi will kill it.
Really?
The Audi will freaking kill it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that.
Feel one? Man, just pulls. So this is what is it? Audi S7?
RS7.
RS7. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, the turbo stuff is so much fun.
700 horsepower.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Wow. Heck yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, the Audi's all-wheel drive and tuned, man. Like,
All-wheel
yeah,
drive.
that thing likes to party.
Oh. Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm in everyone's way.
Yeah, this car will be a blast, though. I like the oddball stuff, and of course,
Yeah,
T50 wagons, man.
This thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
So you said this car doesn't have a luggage rack,
it does.
or does have a luggage
Yeah,
rack?
it's got the luggage rack, no sunroof, and a manual car, and just under 14,000 miles, so it's a low-mile car.
Jeez.
Yeah, so hopefully I don't get cussed out over that. Everyone's gonna be mad about it.
He has never had the 5-point harness. That just went in.
You're learning the 5-point.
But poor Trevor does not get a 5-point harness yet.
I've got my GM belt that came with the 330 horse car.
Don't
It'll be
kill
good for 1,500.
Trevor.
That's good.
We're in that 5-point life right
Going
now.
for a ride?
Yeah.
You got some major ones. Major cojones.
Change my pants. I'll be right back.
How safe did you feel with that belt?
Felt safe with all 330 horses she came with.
Yeah.
No problem.
Here's a sketchy ass for you.
That was freaking sketchy as hell. Like that. That's as sketchy as you get.
You see where she got her name, huh?
Oh yeah. No. She's earned every bit of that sketchy. I didn't breathe for like 7-8 seconds.
I saw you grabbing for the door for
Yeah, it's like I need something to hang on to. Besides my pillow. Oh, that was half. Okay.
I didn't want to blow them.
I won't be with you for all of it.
I was like, it's not been tuned just yet.
You're pretty good. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go pee now. I'll be right back.
Alright guys, I'm on my way to the track now, headed to Cleetus and Cars. We are leaving Texas Speed. I just changed my transmission fluid. It was really low, so it didn't really want to move off the trailer, and I couldn't figure out why. And that's one thing I didn't check, and I did it here at Texas Speed. They were nice enough to let me do that and change my tires and put the slicks on. So got all that finished. I took Trevor, the owner, for a ride. Really good sketchy pass. Nothing too crazy since the car wasn't tuned, but I did get a little sideways for him. You guys will see that in the video. But anyways, we were on our way out.